Six Nations is on this weekend in October. 2020 has been a weird year. But I guess if this game's going to go ahead, happy days and absolute congratulations to everybody who had a part in getting this one organised, because it must have been a hell of a job. Six Nations, Ireland against Italy. It's a continuation from where the competition left off many months ago, what seems like a lifetime. Up until this point in the competition, the Italians are none from three, and the Irish have a 2-1 record, being 2 wins and 1 loss. These two teams have played one game fewer than everybody else at this point in the competition, so it is time for them to catch up. Everyone else at this point is still working on warm-up games. These guys are straight into a competitive match. That being said, Ireland at home, I don't want to say it's a warm-up for the Irish because that's a bit disrespectful, but in all likelihood, the Irish should be able to get the job done at home. I'll get to the predictions at the end. We'll have a look through the squads first. There's a few interesting calls, a few guys getting their first cap, and it should be an interesting one to watch. So it's on at 3:30 in the afternoon on Saturday in Dublin. No fans, and that makes it 3:30 in the morning here in New Zealand, which is less than an optimal time. But fortunately, this one is on ITV in the UK, which means you can watch it on demand, which is how I will be watching it when I wake up in the morning. If you haven't worked out how you're going to watch it, stick around to the end of the video. Let's look at the Irish squad. Healy, Herring, and Porter. That is the front row. So you're kind of still up in the air about who is the first choice guy in the number 2 jersey. Interesting, there's no Kelleher in the squad for this one. I didn't read that he's injured because Heffernan's your man on the bench. There's still no Tadhg on that. Guy seems to have a bit of a niggly injury that just kind of keeps on giving. But Andrew Porter at scrum time is certainly no slouch. So these guys will be well onto their game. Tadhg, Byrne, and James Ryan is the second row. Every time I've seen Tadhg Byrne play, he seems like an absolute master, especially getting turnovers. Like at the breakdown, he's really, really amazing. I'm not sure what he's like in the air. Like when you got Devon Toner, you've got that extra bit of height that you can seem to rely on. But I'm keen to see how Tadhg Byrne goes there as well. Caelan, Doris, Will Connors, and CJ Stander is your back row. So Connors, who I'm learning a bit about because I haven't seen him play much either, but people have told me his chop tackling technique is among the best in the world. So maybe that's why he's been picked for a bit of chopping people down, or just to get his debut in what's a half warm-up but also fully important game for them. He's got Doris, who's also not that experienced on his side, and CJ Stander should be a reassuring kind of number 8 to keep the back rows in line. Murray and Sexton, well, that's the opposite of inexperienced because those guys are both 50-plus caps, nearing 100. Sexton is captain for this one. Aki and Ringrose is the midfield, so no Chris Farrell. Keenan's going to get his debut on the left wing. Conway is on the right wing. Every time I see Conway's name for Ireland, I'm immensely happy because, again, from what I've seen of him, he just seems underrated, man. I'm not sure what it is about him. He's deceptively quick. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. But he runs hella good lines. And he's quicker than he looks. I don't know what it is about him. He just seems perpetually underrated. So the fact that he's starting, I'm immensely happy for the man. And interestingly, Stockdale moves to fullback. And he has been playing for Ulster at fullback a wee bit from what I've seen of him recently. The bench, Heffernan, Byrne will get his debut as well. Bealham, Dillane is back in the squad. Peter O'Mahony's there. Gibson-Park will also get a debut. If he comes on, Ross Byrne and Robbie Henshaw. So it's a bit of a mixture of 4 guys debuting, but also Conor Murray, Sexton, Healy, all these guys, closing in on 100 caps or so. For the Italians, I'm certainly less familiar with these guys, but always happy to see them play. There's a few big names seemingly omitted. There's a few new guys to get games as well. Fichetti, Bigi, and Zelocchi are the front row. Bigi is captain for this one. Lazzaroni and Canone are the locks. Negri, Stain, and Polledri are the back row. In recent times, I know people always talk about the Italians loving to scrum, but in recent times, it's generally been the Italian back rowers that have been kind of my standout players. Like Polledri, I think, would get into a lot of teams around the world. I mean, especially like in terms of his turnovers and his like dynamic ball carrying. The guy is phenomenal, and maybe that's why you pick a guy like Will Connors if you want to keep that guy quiet, because Polledri is an absolute threat. Brumstein's kind of a jack of all trades. He can do a bit of everything. I'm not sure he's an out-and-out 7, but he's playing 7. But Polledri gets turnovers as well, and then Negri as well. Marcelo Violi, I haven't seen him play for Italy for what seems like an age. Yeah, it's usually not been him that's been your man. What's that guy? Oh, his name escapes me. But there's another guy who's generally their 9. Goodness me, it's gone. And also they've got Garbisi at 10, who I know absolutely nothing about, but he seems to be a proper young gun player who's on a meteoric rise in Italy. So it's usually Tommaso Allen, sometimes it's Carlo Canna, but they've gone with this guy Paolo Garbisi, so I'm very curious to see how he goes. Carlo Canna is still there. He's at 12, and to be fair, in recent times, that seems to be his spot. And I was really skeptical when they started playing him there, but he's defensively more sound than I gave him credit for as well. Again, maybe because he doesn't look that big, you don't think he's going to be able to kind of keep that channel quiet, and I don't know that he adds enough value, but he's got a decent kicking game. And yeah, defensively, he is more solid than he looks. So, yep, good to see him there. Morisi is at 13. Bellini left wing, Padovani right wing, and Jayden Hayward is there at fullback. They've also got a few debutants. They've got Lucchesi as the backup hooker. He is on debut, and Mori, the reserve kind of utility back, is there on debut as well. Callum Brayley is the reserve scrum half. I still can't remember. Oh, Tito Tibaldi. Yeah, he's the guy usually at number 9, right? So, yeah, I guess he's getting on. They need to refresh things. Interestingly, they have gone with like Mbanda at 21, plus Meyer at 20, so they've gone with a 6-2 split on the bench. They got an extra forward there, maybe to compete with the physicality of that Irish pack. It's an interesting one comparing the squads, because you look at the most experienced guy without the likes of... oh man, I can't do names today. Italian legendary number 8, Sergio Parise. Without his like huge number of caps, like you got Stain, I think is the most capped Italian guy at 39 caps. Like 39. Or you look at Ireland, Healy's got 98, Sexton 91, Murray 81, Peter Romani 67, Henshaw 43, Stander 41. All those guys have got more caps than the most capped Italian player. So maybe it's a bit of a transitional squad for the Italians. Don't know, but certainly a tough job ahead of them. The last 5 results have all gone Ireland's way, kind of unsurprisingly. The last win for Italy over Ireland was back in 2013, which is quite some time ago. Average score over those last 5 games has been 46 points to 12, but the most recent ones were a bit closer. I think the last one was 29-10, so not quite that much of a blowout. Still pretty comfortable, but yeah, the 5 games, it was like the 2 most recent ones were the closest, and then the ones before that were kind of big scorelines. Rugby Forecast algorithm has Ireland by 33 points, which is a sizable sum. The bookies over here in New Zealand don't go quite that far, but they've still got Ireland by 28. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what kind of cohesion these teams have, seeing it's their first match together in quite some time. As I mentioned, they've both got guys getting their debuts, so there may be, I don't know, it would just be hard to be absolutely on fire from game 1, but you never know. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one. How do you think this one is going to go? I think it's usual broadcasters in most areas. Sky Sports here in New Zealand, KO in Australia, ITV in the UK. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. If you haven't worked it out how you are going to watch it, stick around. I'll do that now. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later. So guys, if you are looking to watch Ireland against Italy in the Six Nations, France against Wales in the Autumn Nations Cup and Six Nations warm-up, both those games will be here on the ITV Hub, which fortunately is a free service. You can see I've already signed in to my account. You do need to sign up, but it's a free service. So as long as you can put in a name and an email address and I think a UK postcode, which you may have to Google, you should be able to sign up to the ITV Hub to watch the games live. You can see on their listings, you got Six Nations Championship here. This is local time, so Saturday coverage between 2:45 and 5:45. And then a few hours later, you have got, they've just called it international rugby, but that's the France and Wales game there in the evening. So yeah, as we've used the ITV Hub, some of you guys may have, for the Rugby World Cup last year. It's a pretty good service. It is only available in the UK, so if you're in the UK, kind of lucky you get to watch for free. But you see, I'm not in the UK, but I'm signed up here with the VPN, so I'm connected to one of the UK servers, so I essentially can access the same services as if I was in the UK. So this is sports that's already been played. From memory with the Rugby World Cup, it's usually available for about 30 days. 30 days. So yeah, for example, you can see here they've got British Formula 3, obviously another thing they've got the rights to, so you can either watch it live and stream it, or if you want to watch it on demand, like I'm going to set it up now to watch it after the fact. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward one. I do like the fact that rugby is free to air. I should say, as you can see here, you do have to watch ads. You have to watch like 3 or 4 ads before you can get to the content. That's kind of the price for it being free, I guess. But yeah, if you are looking to watch the games, like I said, live on demand. Some of the game times don't work for various parts of the world, so jumping on ITV is certainly one of the more preferable ways to get it done. Here's what I mean about the thing expiring. You can see this one expires in 18 days, so you do have to watch it within like however many days. I think it's 30, but don't quote me on that. But yeah. So yeah, I'll put a link to this one that I'm using in the description. It's ExpressVPN. I've been using it for ages just to get around kind of geo-blocked content. It works really well for me. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you sign up for a year, you get like 3 months free. So yeah, check it out, guys. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.